Welcome to Module 3 about communication skills. The aims of this module is that you, as a volunteer, will have a better understanding of the skills which are involved in effective communication. And this module, together with Module 2, relational skills, that was the previous model, will equip you to connect with the probation client. Let's start with verbal and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is the transmitting of information between two people using words. It's important to remember that writing is also a form of verbal communication. So writing uses words too. Non-verbal communication is the transmitting of information with wordless cues. Aspects like our facial expressions, our tone of voice, our body language, how we respect or invade the other personal space are all forms of communication that is nonverbal. Also, making or avoiding eye contact, if and how we touch the other person, how we appear and how we dress, the artifacts that we carry or that we surround ourselves with, all this says something about ourselves, about our emotions, our state of mind, about how we think. Very important is to remember that to communicate effectively and to foster a positive relationship, it is very important to be genuine. So make sure that your verbal and non-verbal communication are coherent. Of course, being genuine should be also respectful. So you can be genuine and always be respectful. Let's now proceed to active listening. Like other aspects of communication, we tend to listen without conscious awareness of what we are doing. However, listening skills have a significant impact on the quality of our relationship with our mentees and in turn, with the quality of the relationship. Let's see a small comic clip that will illustrate the importance of active listening.
First, there was PlayStation, aka PS1. Then there's PS2, PS3, and now PS4. And that makes sense. You'd think after Xbox, there'd be Xbox 2. But no. Next came Xbox 360. And now, after 360, comes Xbox One. Why one? Maybe that's how many seconds of thought they put into naming it.
Can you get the butter, please?
Yeah, however, with the Xbox One, I can control my entire entertainment system using voice commands. Up until now, I've had to use Leonard.
Then get the other one. Pass the butter.
Hang on. I don't feel like you're taking this dilemma seriously.
Fine, Sheldon. You have my undivided attention.
Okay, now, the PS4 is more angular and sleek looking.
No way!
It's true, but the larger size of the Xbox One may keep it from overheating.
Well, you wouldn't want your gaming system to overheat?
No, well, you absolutely would not. And furthermore, the Xbox One now comes with a Kinect included.
Included?
Yes! Not sold separately. Although the PS4 uses cool new GDDR5 RAM, while the Xbox One is still using the conventional DDR3 memory.
Why would they still be using DDR3? Are they nuts?
See, that's what I thought. But then they go and throw in an ES RAM buffer.
Whoa, wait a second. Who's they?
The Xbox.
You're kidding!
No, I am not. And this ES RAM buffer should totally bridge the 100 gigabit per second bandwidth gap between the two RAM types.
This is a nightmare. How will you ever make a decision?
See, I don't know. What should I do?
Please pass the butter!
So as you can see, we watch Sheldon's excitement and enthusiasm growing as Amy gives him undivided attention, although not genuine, of course. Active listening can be achieved and be perceived by the other person through showing interest, signaling encouragement, avoiding interruptions and distractions, listening for feelings, understand how the person is feeling by paying attention to the tone of voice, to the words the person uses, to the body posture, look in the eye, also observing nonverbal cues, probing, And this can be done by asking follow-up questions to encourage the person to elaborate on their thoughts, on their feelings. It works by demonstrating the genuine interest in the perspective of the person, encouraging them to share more information. Active listening also is demonstrated by avoiding prejudice, using open and closed questions, and we will talk a little bit more about this in detail ahead. Clarifying, and this means paraphrasing or asking the person to explain an idea better, to make sure we really understood what he or she meant. And sending our own nonverbal signs through nodding, smiling, and making eye contact. So here's an example of a dialogue between a volunteer and a client that will show several active listening strategies.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Christina. Good morning.
Hi. Remember that job opportunity that I told you about with my cousin? I was really excited about it, but now I'm not so sure.
Oh, so if I understand, you were feeling very excited before, but now you are having second thoughts about it.
Yeah, I mean, I worked as a cook several times in the past, but this is different because I have to be at the restaurant by 9.
I see. You are very worried about the schedule.
Yeah, because I have to drop my kids at school, and I'm afraid I will not be able to be at the restaurant so early.
So it sounds like you are afraid of not being able to do both. Take your kids to school and get to work on time.
Yeah. I think, well, maybe the only possibility would be to drop them off at school like half an hour earlier. Maybe that's not that bad actually, because they always complain they can't play with their friends, they don't have time. So,
Oh, it sounds like you have another perspective now.
yeah, maybe I will do that. I will talk to my kids about it, yeah.
Well, it sounds like you have a plan. That's great, Christina.
Yeah, Teresa, thank you for listening.
As you can see, Teresa gives her undivided attention to the client. She shows interest, she encourages, she reflects feelings, paraphrases and makes clarification, she probes, she keeps eye contact, is non-judgmental, and just follows the client as she arrives to a solution to a problem. Although Teresa doesn't offer a solution to the client feels that she was really helpful, and this just by listening. Let's go forward to asking questions. Both open and closed questions can be very helpful tools in the communication with the client. They can help gain information, expand information. So it's like finding out about the client's world, how he or she thinks. It's also helpful to expand understanding, clarifying your understanding and showing empathy with what the person is showing. It's helpful to encourage self-reflection. We can use questions to help the clients develop self-awareness, to develop understanding. And they're also important to encourage participations. So questions can help the client feel important and valued. Open questions, they encourage discussion and provide an opportunity for clients to use their own thoughts, feelings, and ideas. However, they will require more time for the answer to be formulated and to be given. And they can put pressure on the client to express something they are uncomfortable with or unwilling to share. An open question will start with a question word like who, what, where, when, or how. Now about closed questions. They can be reassuring at the beginning of the relationship when the client is anxious, and they can help get the conversation going. They also elicit information quickly and can offer options. However, if you overuse closed questions, they can limit the exploration of feelings, ideas, close down the conversation, and suggest ideas and thoughts that the client does not own. Closed questions are those that can be answered with yes or no. So here is an example of a dialogue between a volunteer and a client using mainly closed questions.
Good morning, Christina. How are you? So, did you have that job interview?
Yeah.
And did it go well?
Yeah.
Fortunately. Did you manage to arrive on time?
Yeah.
I asked because on the other day you were very worried about transport difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
And did they say anything yet, or will they respond later?
They will give me an answer next week.
Okay.
So as you could see, the dialogue was short and you could almost hear more of the volunteer than the client. This is not effective, but careful because it's very easy to fall in this. You are eager to obtain information, so you will tend to ask closed questions. Please avoid this. So now let's go to an example of mainly open questions, also with some closed questions.
Good morning, Christina. How are you? So, did you manage to go to that job interview?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, tell me more about how it went.
I think it went well.
Can you tell me a little bit more? How did you feel in the interview?
In the beginning, I was a little nervous, but then I managed to speak well and respond to everything. I'm optimistic.
Okay, so I see you managed to overcome your nervousness. That's great.
Yeah, and after all, I managed to arrive on time because it wasn't so hard to catch the bus after all.
Great. And when will you know the result?
I think maybe next week.
Okay.
So as you can see, to start, there is a closed question, but then an open question is put to invite the client to elaborate in her own words, starting like, tell me about it. She does not elaborate at first, but the volunteer perseveres with another open question. So eventually the dialogue starts flowing and information is given, even without being asked for directly. It's also a good style, the open questions. It's also a good style if you want to foster active listening and also give positive feedback.
Affirmations can be a powerful tool that you as a volunteer may use. When sincere, affirmations build trust and bond, and in this way, help us to connect with the client. When you use affirmations, you encourage positive behavior and reinforce clients' progress. Affirmations are used to complement the person's view or efforts and to express appreciation and understanding of both difficulties and strengths in coping with problems. Affirmations can promote self-confidence and efficacy and can help us acknowledge the difficulties the client has experienced. We can emphasize past experience that demonstrates strength and success, and in this way prevent discouragement. We can validate clients' behavior change intentions, and by validating the client's experience and feelings, we reinforce open exploration of a client's problem. Let's take a look at the video.
I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this up. It's been very hard, balancing work, appointments, everything else.
I can imagine, Christina, how challenging that must be. But I want to acknowledge how well you are managing everything right now. It's not easy to juggle so much. But you are showing really dedication by keeping up with your appointments and finding a job.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying my best.
And it shows, Christina. You have made a lot of progress since we first started working together. You have stayed committed even when things got tough, and that's something to be proud of. Not everyone would have that kind of determination. Summarize. Summarize is a way to restate or condense what the client has said about their desire, ability, and commitment to change. Use it to synthesize the dialogue of change and not the dialogue of resistance to change. Summaries help you maintain the common thread, remember everything well, and provide structure to a conversation. At the same time, it helps the client to reflect on what has been discussed. It is important that you always summarize in your own words. By summarizing, you check whether you have understood the message correctly and how various elements from the conversation are linked together. If it turns out that you have not understood the other person correctly, you give the other person the opportunity to supplement or correct. We will see how it may look like.
I'm really stressed out. I've been trying to find a stable place to live, but it's very hard. On top of that, work is exhausting. I'm always worried about meeting with the probation officer and the probation requirements. I feel like everything is piling up. I'm not sure how much I can take.
Well, it sounds like you are feeling overwhelmed with everything you have to manage right now. You are dealing with a lot and all at once, and it's making things really tough for you. iMessages. It's important that you communicate as effectively as possible, so you can convey a message in such a way that the other person does not feel hurt and that your relationship is not damaged. This can be done by using so-called iMessages. With an iMessage, you better convey what you want to achieve and focus less on the obstacle that you experience. iMessage allows expression of feelings, concerns, or needs in a non-confrontational way, encourages open, respectful dialogue, and reduces defensiveness. A you message points to the other person and has the risk that the other person will deny or become defensive. In both cases, it distracts from what you want to achieve. A you message says, you are doing something wrong. An I message says, I would like to see things differently. An I message invites your conversation partner to understand your side of the matter. I messages are often structured as I feel, and then you define the feeling when, and you describe the situation because. The video will show you some examples.
I'm so sorry I didn't show up last time, but I completely forgot our meeting.
Well, Christina, you keep missing your appointments, and it's clear that you're not taking this seriously. You are going to end up in more trouble if you don't start following the rules.
I'm so sorry I didn't show up last time, but I completely forgot our meeting.
Well, Christina, I feel concerned when you miss your appointments because it's really important for your progress and staying on track with your goals.
So this was the module about communication skills. We hope you find it useful. We wish you all the best for the rest of your training and for your experience as a volunteer on probation.